Welcome, everybody, to the Smoking Standard Podcast, specifically the Miami Cigar Festival Recap 2026. I'm Steve. This is my partner, Zach, and we're going to get our cigars lit up and get right into the content. All right, so as I said, welcome to the Smoking Standards Podcast. This is the Miami Cigar Festival Recap 2026, which, full disclosure, in all the years I've been smoking cigars, this is my first ever cigar event of any kind like this. And Zach, I got to tell you, it was a great time and what I felt to be an immersion into the cigar culture and the cigar lifestyle, specifically in South Florida, with the absolute heavy and wonderful Cuban influence on that thing.
Yeah. So how much of it was kind of cigar culture, Americanized cigar culture, and how much of it was like Miami Cuban culture? I know obviously down there it blends, but did you feel out of place or?
So it's funny you actually ask the question that way, because if you dig into the history of cigars anyway, we have the terminology old world and new world.
Yeah.
So from that aspect, and the Miami Cigar Festival is a boutique centric event,
Yeah.
which is actually was awesome.
Yeah.
Because you have access to literally the owners of these companies. There were some sales reps on hand for boutique brands that have grown and have distribution now. I actually was fortunate enough to meet the owner of one of the companies, and she was probably my oldest son's age. I would say early 30s tops.
Okay.
Blew me away.
Yeah.
When the guy introduced me to her, I was just like, I'm like, you literally could be my daughter. I mean, I'm 53. I'm just like she was that young.
Yeah.
But family owned throughout, top to bottom. So back to the question. I would say from the you know, the dress, you know, there was actually I'm not going to call it a theme, but the organizers of the festival put out on social media and stuff, hey, the kickoff party, you know, try to wear these things because they want to create that vibe, which it went amazing. Then on Saturday was a little more, you know, casual, but honestly, everybody was still in the flow.
Yeah.
So you saw you know, again, I went all in. I've got my Cuban hat.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta tell me about the hat.
Yeah, custom made right there in front of me.
Yeah.
So it's basically was the blank straw hat, and this the company was called Hatitude.
Yeah.
Right there local in the area. And so we're picking out the feathers, we're picking out the fabric for the headband, and I saw some other hats that were kind of like already pre-made, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I kind of like that and like that. She's like, okay. So she goes to this big board, and it had like spools of fabric, spools of leather,
Yeah.
spools of thread, like whatever you want. And like then she turned around, handed it to her husband, and he's got his, you know, the hot glue gun, and he's doing the measurements. It like took him maybe 30 minutes to put the hat together.
Yeah.
So I went all in.
Yeah.
You know,
It's awesome.
yeah. And so love it. Yeah. And but that was on Saturday.
Yeah.
So the vendors were there, the culture was still there. They had Cuban music, Cuban dancers. Obviously on Friday night at the party, okay, we had a little Cuban club music
Yeah.
because they were throwing down like
Yeah.
the party got hot like really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of how it was all wrapped around, and you had access to the vendors on Friday night. Saturday, Fermin Perez put on a tobacco class from 12 to 1. Phenomenal class, which, by the way, Fermin Perez is an extremely personable guy.
Yeah.
I had several conversations with him. And he would just, and again, and he remembered me from the conversation we had before. So there was no like weirdness or awkward. I was like, hey, man, how's everything going today? Like, I said, hey, I smoked your cigar with my espresso in the morning. He's like, yeah. Well, how'd you like that? We had the conversation. Yeah. So that's why I say I think the boutique space is super personable. It's very intimate, and you have access to these people that are blending these cigars.
Yeah.
So I would say you had the old world vibe from the hats and the Guarevera shirts and the loafers and the linen and the music, the food, the small bites, very ethnic specific. But you still have the new world cigar aspect of it because, again, the boutique space is, we're all using plant varietals, from Cuba. Still, that influence is still on the plants per se. But yeah, from a cigar perspective, new world cigars still wanting to create the old world experience from the blending and everything. So yeah, it's a mix of both.
Nice. So driving down there, like you tripped down there, what did you do? I know you stopped in Orlando or Daytona. Sorry.
I did. So they're a good buddy of mine that we served in Germany together. He's a pilot for Customs and Border Protection down in Jacksonville. So hadn't seen him in a while, probably 3-4 years now. So definitely swung by. I'm not going to go down 95 and not go blow right by his house.
Yeah.
So I left actually a day early, went down and saw him. And then on Friday, when I'm pushing into Miami, again, had the route planned out. I'm like, oh, Karen Berger shop is in Daytona.
Yeah.
Let me just dip off in there real quick. So I went in and actually got there before it opened at 10.
Yeah.
So I'd sit in the parking lot for a minute. But again, go in there. Her staff is phenomenal.
Really?
They greeted you. They're already smoking cigars. I told them it's my first time in the shop, and they actually love that.
Yeah.
They're like, let me show you what we have.
Nice.
And so the gentleman walked me through the store. We talked about all these things, the blends. He talked me through all of Karen Berger's selection. Obviously, she's got her own stuff in there. And then I went poking around. I'm like, okay, well, Karen Berger's not a rookie per se, but I know there's unicorns in here somewhere.
Yeah.
And so what did I stumble onto? Thunder Kiss by Crown Heads.
Yeah.
We don't have that in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Nobody's carrying that up here. Boom, grabbed a couple of those for you and I. Dunbar Tobacco and Trust 10th anniversary jubilee. We're not going to see that up here.
Yeah.
Grabbed a couple of those.
Yeah.
So I went through and picked and poked because again, with her connection, with the rep, she's going to have some good stuff in there. So I found some other unicorns for us in there, but definitely bought just about everything in her portfolio that our palate's going to like.
Yeah.
Not that I am, we're not that we're Connecticut averse, but that's not where we're going. That's not our go-to.
Yeah.
We'll smoke it, but if I'm going to spend money and I want to get some unicorns and I want to get like where our palates at, because we have similar palates. So yeah, Habanos, Maduros, definitely got some Cameroons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bought a bunch of her stuff. Great experience there. Like I said, shout out to Karen Berger and her shop in Daytona, Don Kiki Cigar. And like,
so that's funny because in our interview questions, one of the questions was, how does a new cigar smoker pick out a cigar? What do you recommend? How do you help build their flavor profile? And like a mixture of our responses was asking the associate to help you. What's new? What's rare? What's whatever? I smoked this. I like that. So even as experienced cigar smokers, when we walk into new lounges, we identify ourselves. I've never been here before. can you show me around? And if they're a good associate and they like their job and they're passionate about what they do, yeah, they get all giddy
100%.
and run around. We got this. This is our blend section. This is whatever section. This is our rare and limiteds. I think that's super exciting. I can't wait if we could stop by on our way
Oh,
down.
we're
But
trust me, if it's up to me,
yeah,
again, through again, a lot of the connections I made that are specific to Miami, which we have to pause right here for a hot minute. We're talking about the Miami Cigar Festival. I have to give a huge shout out to Orlando, Big O. We had connected via Instagram, or we're DMing each other real quick for whatever reason, and we got to talking. When I got on site, asked all the right people, they pointed me in the right direction. Once I had the first conversation with Orlando, every time after that, it was like I was talking to you.
yeah,
Hey brother, how you doing, man? How you liking the thing? I appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
The whole deal. I mean, him, that staff that put on the Miami Cigar Festival, again, extremely approachable.
yeah,
All of them will talk with you. There was no issues with getting any question answered of whatever the case may be. So Big O, my man, great meeting you, brother. Love you to death and can't wait for 2027. In the meantime, I'm probably still going to be reaching out and just having conversations with you because, why not? But yeah, so the cigar staff, 100%. And to that point about the beginner come in and it could be a little intimidating. Well, to a certain extent, when you've been smoking cigars as long as you and I have, and we go in and we ask staff for recommendations, well, potentially, just my opinion, just throwing it out there.
yeah,
But it could be reverse intimidation because
yeah,
we've smoked a lot of cigars.
yeah,
So it's kind of like, impress me.
yeah,
This is my palate. Not gonna tell you the brands I smoke. I'm just tell you this is my palate. Like, wow me. Give me something new and amazing. What's hot out there? Because I'm looking for some exciting experience.
Well, I do that to you almost every time we're in here.
Yeah.
Just surprise me. Just grab me something. Again, our palates are so similar, and we smoke together so much. It's easy, but yeah, it's kind of like a reverse interview for the
It is.
cigar associate. Yeah.
So I will also tell you every time you ask me that, and it's the same with my friend Mike in Miami, which there's a story to be had for that in this episode. Also with now I'm trying to remember. Anyway, not the point. The concept is I will challenge your palate.
Yeah.
Instead of giving you what you want, I'm gonna be like, try this.
Yeah.
Because again, from the sommelier space, smoking everything is my passion and somewhat my reputation, my credibility is based on that. So if I know I can give you a cigar that's not in your palate, but you are going to enjoy that experience, then I will challenge you that way.
Yeah.
As opposed to giving you what you want.
Yeah.
And that's literally how many cigars you and I have the access to.
Yeah.
Which, on that note, this is the Miami Cigar Festival haul.
Yeah.
I literally had to stop at Walmart on the way back. So as soon as I got home, I had humidity packs and I could put everything away and they weren't going to get ruined from kicking around in bags and backpacks for the last, 5 days while I was in Miami.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, what do you got?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Now we got samples, but after that I was like, okay, I want one of everything.
Yeah. And we'll go to Instagram. We'll pull all of this out, take a picture of it, put on
Oh, yeah.
Instagram. So look over there. It might be up even before this video hits YouTube, but go check out everything.
Yeah.
And we'll link, Karen Berger, everybody that we got
100%.
cigars
All the
from.
links. I've got all the business cards, all the bands. And again, if not everybody had a business card, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna look at the band, but yeah, there's gonna be a layout. Hopefully, I may have to stand on a ladder over my bar for that many cigars that I picked up, but they'll be all out there. All the brand names will be linked. And again, super personal people. I will tell you, we have some homework to do though.
Yeah.
From a smoking perspective. And we kind of talked about this before we hit the go on the camera. Shout out to Grouchy Monkey Cigars. Had a great conversation with them. But they, through conversating with them, and I said, I want one of everything. And they're like, oh, you're going to love our Candela. And I'm like, oh, you have one of those too. Funny enough, in all the years that we've been smoking cigars, you and I combined probably got 20 plus years of smoking.
Yeah.
Never smoked a Candela.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I have no reason.
Yeah.
I do not have an educated response to why I have not smoked a Candela.
Yeah.
But I just haven't. But oh, by the way, they're not, it isn't exactly you go into a cigar lounge and you see boxes of Candelas sitting around
No.
either.
No.
So it has to be done right. Grouchy Monkey believes in their Candela. And I'm like, sold.
Yeah.
If you feel that strongly about your Candela, I will smoke the Candela.
Yeah.
So you and I have 2 Candelas in there. At some point, we're going to have to smoke that and get that out on the World Wide Web as well. But yeah, back to access to the people, the owners of the brands at the Miami Cigar Festival was, again, it was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and all facets were represented there. Superior Cigars. Correction, Superior Standard Cigars.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, kind of like the smoking standard.
Exactly. Law enforcement, prior military. I've specifically talked to Drew, Mr. Howard, quite a bit. His time in the military, he was a drill sergeant. Now he is a drill sergeant instructor for the police academy that they're in Miami-Dade.
Nice.
So he actually teaches their drill instructors on to do the academy for the cadets.
Yeah.
So again, so many stories to be told. So many stories to be told. The Miami Cigar Festival, and again, I'd never been to an event like that before.
Yeah.
So the kickoff party was Friday night. You had access to the vendors Friday night. Saturday was other vendors. George Valdez, owner of Sabor Havana, he was the main cigar source on Saturday.
Okay.
Was also the location for the after party, which Mr. Valdez puts on an amazing after party.
And that was a rooftop party?
No, the rooftop or the second tier was Saturday for the Miami Cigar Festival.
Okay.
So Mr. Valdez, Sabor Havana is in Doral.
Okay.
So it was about 15 minutes from the hotel. And again, his staff, super awesome staff for a cigar lounge.
Yeah.
They were giving out a free cigar. You go, which the cigar stores, the shop is up front. You walk through a doorway, you go into the bar in the back, the lounge. And again, disco ball, DJ, Cuban music, everybody having a great time. He had 2 specific signature cocktails for the event that you could have those. But I go there on Saturday night, crowded, hard to find a table.
Yeah.
Because again, the event and the participation was it was full blown all the time. Like there wasn't people missing out.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's like, oh, hard to find a seat. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's a good problem to have. And guess what? It means I'm just going to make a bunch of friends because I'm going to roll up on you and like, hey, this is me. How you doing, Steve? Who are you? Which I did that to 2 gentlemen, Jesus and Armando, which were amazing guys to talk to. Friends with Mr. Valdez, so they kind of knew the ins and the outs. Got to know them. Hey, where'd you come from? The typical thing from North Carolina, things like that. But at some point, we're going to have on the episode, and I'm going to smoke this cigar and give them a shout out. But Armando's favorite cigar is a Padron 1926 number 1.
Okay.
I promise you, we go into our cigar lounge, that cigar is not there.
No.
Gorgeous cigar. Like I'll show it to you. It's actually in the humidor in the house, but
yeah,
I don't have it out here. But anyway, so how does this all relate to cigar culture, our podcast, cigar community, what we want to talk about? 2 perfect strangers that had a seat at their table, and by the end of the night, hey man, we'd love to give you this cigar. smoke it now, save it, whatever you want. But like that is just how the cigar culture and the community operates.
Yeah.
That is what I ran into in Miami, no matter who I talked to, no matter where I went, which on that note, cigar culture. Kelsey, wonderful lady. She's doing an event tonight on her birthday at the Grand Cathedral in Tampa.
Well, tonight's what? May 20 or March 26th, right? So
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Yep. She is sitting next to me just because there was an open chair on Saturday. It's under the tent, so she's sitting there. And I was like, hey, I got a great question for her. So I turned to her, introduced myself. I was like, can I ask you, as a female, how long you've been smoking cigars and how did you get into cigars as a woman?
Yeah.
Love to hear that story. Her brother, family members, and oh, by the way, she smokes Maduros, full-bodied cigars. And I'm like, even better.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So by the time we're done talking, she's like, oh my God, have you had this cigar? Pulls out an Alec Bradley Tempest. I'm like, no.
Oh, they're-
Quite honestly, I don't smoke very many Alec Bradleys at all. I have like 2 in my humidor right now.
Yeah.
One of them was gifted to me by Freddie Cox of Sovereign Cigars,
yeah.
which is a moondial, which they
Moondial,
stopped
yeah.
making that like
2011 or something was the last year. But
Yeah,
I think the ones we have is like 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
You know, but she's like, oh no, you got to try this. I'm like, all right. So I re-gift her back a cigar. So we're having this conversation.
Well, that Tempest, was it a Figurado?
No.
Okay. Because I know we have the figs here and they're tremendous.
Yeah.
So if you like that cigar, I think you like the.
Yeah.
It's either Toro probably.
I'd have to double check.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I believe it's a Bellicoso or a Torpedo.
Okay.
So could be.
That fig is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she is Her Ash Adventures on Instagram. Kelsey. Wicked smart in cigars. She's doing an event at the Grand Cathedral tonight. So again, just somebody that happened to sit down next to me.
So what cigar did you trade her back?
So I gave her back a cigar out of this box, which I also got at the festival.
Yeah.
From Esencia Tabacalera. Okay. This is a San Andres with Dominican binder filler called the Yerba Santa. And so I gave her one of those, which also later on that night, Kelsey and I were sitting together, and then she starts mingling. She knows a lot of people in the cigar industry already from her events. But one of the unicorns, I think, is a unicorn. There's probably some debate on it. I know we're never going to see it here. And the only one, the blend release that we've seen here at our cigar lounge, specifically, I'm talking about the Tatuaje Cajonu.
Yeah.
I've only seen the 2012 in our lounge
Yeah.
and beyond. Mr. Valdez at Sabor Havana had a Cajonu 2003. And I was like, yes, sir, I'll take 5 of those. And, and I was like, because I'm not going to see it again.
Yeah.
So I gave one to my buddy. So I gave one to her. I was like, you like dark cigars? Try one of these. And she hadn't had one before. So I gifted her a Cajonu 2003.
Yeah.
And we have 3 that we need to smoke.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah. Again, cigar culture, cigar community. I'm sitting outside having my espresso, because you're going to have an espresso in Miami.
Yeah.
The hotel didn't necessarily have somebody making homemade Cuban coffee there.
Yeah.
So I went for an espresso. And I have the cigar, the free cigar that we got for being the VIP.
Yeah.
From Fermin Perez. I'm smoking his with my coffee. And I'm out there smoking because we have smoke outside. Even though there's a cigar festival going on,
Yeah.
you still got to go out, to the smoking area. But gentleman and his wife roll up. He's smoking a cigar, sees me outside. Said, "Man, how you doing, brother? Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm Steve. Hey, I'm Brian. It's my wife, Lucia, from New Jersey."
Yeah.
So Brian, my new friend from New Jersey, Biceps and Bourbon on Instagram.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian and his wife, Lucia. We start smoking, make a friend. We get into the event. I sit down. I hadn't seen him yet that day on that since I saw him out with my coffee. Boom, he sits down in front of me. Next thing you know, for the next 6 hours, just talking with Brian about everything cigars. New Jersey, what do you find in New Jersey? Where have you been? And actually, he had just came from a cigar event, and I want to say he was at the Great Smoke. They fly back to New Jersey, and then literally they flew in Friday night, did the cigar festival, and flew back Saturday evening.
Yeah.
So turn and burn.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you if you came down just for that.
Yeah, they did.
Because this is how many years they've been putting this event on?
That's a great question, and honestly, I didn't get that answer.
Yeah.
I would have to look back and see. But I can assure you it is going to continue to be a thing. If it's fairly new,
Yeah.
it's going to be very old.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
Would
you say the event was sold out? Or I mean, I don't even know. Even if they didn't sell out, was there any room left?
They still were offering some like day of ticket packages real quick. You could get it like a VIP for one day on Saturday. You could have got a VIP on Friday night.
Yeah.
I will tell you all of the vendor space was sold out super fast.
Yeah.
Like if you were a vendor and you wanted to get in on that, you missed it.
Yeah.
So that's what I see being the expansion of that event.
Yeah.
There's going to be way more brands that are going to want to get in on this. So, but yeah, it was a great time. Again, great cultural experience. Like I said, I was all in. I got the Cuban hat. And that was just Friday and Saturday. I didn't come home until Tuesday.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother story. So
wait, so you went down Friday, you got there
Yep.
Friday, hung out. You said the class was Friday?
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, from 12 to 1. So it was only for the VIPs.
Yeah. And then after party Saturday. And then Sunday, what'd you do?
So Sunday, I checked out. A good friend of mine, Mike Bullness, lives in West Miami.
Okay.
There's a background on how I met Mike. I met Mike and his wife, Lourdes, at the distillery I was working at. And I was bartending one day, and they were in there having lunch on their anniversary. Relatively quiet around the bar, so I had time to talk to people and, and do the whole bartender thing. How you doing? Towel over the shoulder, whatever. Whatever stereotypical bartender thing you want to think of.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it turns out they were there having lunch for their anniversary.
Oh, no kidding.
So wish them happy anniversary, and we got talking, got back, and somehow cigars came up, and that was it.
Yeah.
From that point forward, I bogarted their entire anniversary lunch because we were talking about cigars. So,
well, what were they doing here in town? Were they
their
golf
daughter,
trip or, okay.
their daughter Michelle, real estate agent,
Yeah.
here in the area,
Okay.
is married to a now retired Chief Warrant Officer 3 Black Hawk pilot, Ben. So Ben is his son-in-law, and Michelle, they live in Lillington.
Okay.
So Ben and I eventually became friends because he came and did an internship at the distillery I was working at, with the Army Transition Program, the Skill Bridge.
Yeah.
So we became friends. Obviously, he smoked cigars, and so the friendship with and Mike was somebody that I knew the quality of man that he was, and I was just from talking to him in the bar.
Yeah.
So I asked if we could exchange numbers. I'd love to talk cigars more with him when he comes into town, and things. And so again, it was nurturing and fostering the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Through cigars. Again, this vessel that we're smoking, the reason why you and I wanted to start on this project to begin with is the cigar culture and the cigar community just breeds fellowship and community with strangers, right?
Yeah.
When you're done smoking a cigar with a stranger, you no longer are a stranger.
Yeah.
So I would send him texts, hey, how you doing? Just checking in. Was, da 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 da. And so we just kind of built the friendship via text. Whenever they would come into town, but hey, love to get together, smoke a cigar. So we did that. And now I have a best friend in Mike and his wife and his family.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, also good friends with his son who lives in Miami.
Yeah.
So I go to Miami, I go stay with Mike on Sunday. We go on Sunday to this amazing little Cuban cafeteria.
Yeah.
Like just a quick 2 or 3 minutes around from his house, from his neighborhood. So we go in there. I buy this plate, like basically in essence, a sampler plate of Cuban food.
Yeah.
And literally was like, it was a massive plate of food.
Yeah.
I could not eat it all. So again, I'm in Miami. I'm all in on the Cuban experience and the cigars, and we're on our way to one of his favorite cigar lounges, which I had actually been to before in a previous trip to Florida a few years back in Coral Gables, called Galeano's.
Okay.
Great cigar lounge, super hospitality. So we're on our way to Galeano's, smoke a cigar. We stop and have some Cuban food, and his son Michael meets us at Galeano's. So we go smoke a cigar at Galeano's, and we're talking about life and everything. Again, 3 men sitting around, just having some fellowship, having some cigars. And then we get done with that. We head back to the house, get out some more scotch, sit out by the pool, smoke some more cigars. And so I plop my plastic bag of all the cigars I've amassed from the Miami Cigar Festival.
Yeah.
Okay, because I bought cigars from everybody. And I'm like, all right, what do you want here? So I'm like digging through, and I'm like, all right, I think you'll like this, and we're smoking through them and everything. So that was on Sunday. Real super short story about Mike and what I'm about to tell you next. So Mike's mother started a magazine in Miami called Selecta.
Yeah.
And it was designed to be super high-end Latino magazine in Miami. And his mother was a beautiful woman, elegant, knew all the players. And Mike got involved with the magazine. And that is what he did for the next 30 years.
Okay.
Quite honestly, right up until, I want to say, like right around COVID or during COVID, I think he shut it down finally. And so had been to New York, knew all the players on Madison Avenue, the marketing agencies. And he and his mother, his family built this magazine, and with his sister, just tremendous magazine. Well, he gets introduced to Carlos Fuente Sr. and Carlito Fuente Jr. And they hit it off to the point that, again, he and Carlito are like, brothers.
Yeah.
So through that connection, or through the magazine, Mike is looking for a photographer. He hires a guy that he's introduced to named Manny Iriarte. Phenomenal artist. What he creates through the lens of a camera is tremendous. So Manny Iriarte starts working for Selecta magazine.
Yeah.
He becomes too valuable. He's overqualified. And Mike is the kind of a guy that's like, hey, I will keep you on as long as you will stay, because you are helping us make a tremendous amount of money, and you are a talented individual. He goes, but you're destined for bigger and better things. And so through his connection with Fuente, Carlito's looking for somebody to do a thing with advertising and photography and marketing. So my buddy Mike introduces Manny to Carlito. The relationship kicks off. Those moves are made. really super long story short, enter Mani Idiate Opus X Society.
Yeah.
So we'll put a pin in that right there. Because again, I have a lot of information on the story. I also want to be very sure and clear that I'm telling the story correctly. So
Yeah.
we'll put a pin in that right there.
I think that's something we could do its own video on.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
a little, the history of that.
So for people in the know that really are doing deep dives on cigar culture and community, and they understand Opus X, obviously massive brand recognition for Fuente, and the Opus X Society, what Manny has built. So Manny has his own company, and he also has Opus X Society.
Yeah.
So his office, where his company is at, he bought the warehouse space next to it and created the Smoking Frenchies, because he has 2 Frenchies at home.
Yeah.
Built out this warehouse, this amazing lounge, where he has the ability now to have a space for he and his friends and his network to smoke cigars, have fellowship. And again, I asked, he was very generous. He said, take pictures of whatever you want. So those pictures will be going up on Instagram when I get all that collected in that post. So through my friend Mike and his friendships and the relationships that he has built and cultivated with these amazing elite men, on Monday, I was afforded the opportunity, a blessing. Mike and I and his son Michael met us there. We go to 2 Frenchies. I get to smoke cigars with Manny Idiati and his business partner Dave Levy, Mike's business partner Peter Colon, his son Michael. It was just a gathering of these elite men, because they are high performers, brother. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed. I didn't act like it,
Yeah.
but in my mind, I'm going like, I cannot believe I'm sitting here
Yeah.
with these men, super high performers in the business world, super high performers of men with their standards and how they develop themselves. Just, and again, we talk about always being 1% better. Like, I walked away from that experience inspired, absolutely 1% and then some.
Yeah.
You know, having the exposure to those men. And we talked about life, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't just cigars. You know, we talked about Cuba. We talked about, governments. We talked about fathering and parenthood. We talked about, you know, once they found out I was in the military, they wanted to know about that.
Yeah.
Super grateful for my military service. Like, they get it. Like, those guys get it.
Well, that's what I think. And again, it goes back to the interviews and everything we talk about in business meetings. For the new smoker, they want to talk about cigars and learn about cigars. The project that we're doing here is bringing the cigar lounge to people that don't have access to it, right? Bringing it in a digital format for people that don't have a lounge where they can just pop into. When experienced cigar smokers smoke cigars, we're not talking about cigars. Not all the time. Now, if I come in with a box like that, you're going to be like, show me everything you got.
Yeah.
But we walk in, light up a cigar. What are you smoking? Oh, nice. That's really good. I haven't had one in a year. Whatever. And then it rolls into, life, right? Not for me, but for you and others, parenting, relationships, marriages, school, careers, retirement.
All of it. It all plays
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, when I was sitting with Mike at his house, we're out in the back patio by the pool. Cigars and scotch is how the conversation got started.
Yeah.
Everything after that, life, business. I mean, I consider also Mike, is a mentor of mine.
Yeah.
He is, and again, these men have brilliant minds.
Yeah.
They have these tremendous businesses, where they have the ability to adjust and they they manage the business, but they lead the people in the business. They're leaders
Yeah.
in their businesses. They are always evolving.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, you start talking about evolution and everybody, just my opinion, I could be totally wrong. And the reason why I say this is because sometimes I have to remind myself that evolution doesn't mean that the foundation, it gets rebuilt over and over. The foundation is set.
Yeah.
But everything on that foundation is evolving. Again, I firmly believe it's evolve or die.
Yeah.
If you're not keeping up and adapting, you are going nowhere fast. And especially in today's world, technology, so again, we sit down with the vessel of the cigar and talk about everything else.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I like and I knew you were going to say the word mentor words before you said it, but I like that word when it comes to why we choose to surround ourselves with the people that we do. And you say it all the time, and I think a part of me, I guess it's a military thing, part of me knew it, it just wasn't in the forefront of my brain. But is this interaction, is this person, is this friendship worth the energy expenditure? And people look at me funny because I'm in my late 20s and I'm hanging out with 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old men. But that's exactly what I should be doing. And I think we've lost, families aren't so tight anymore, right? Communities aren't tight anymore. Now, if you're lucky enough to play golf or tennis or anything really, right, then you're surrounded by a plethora of people from all ages, backgrounds, ethnicities, whatever.
Yep.
Wealth, because that's another thing, right? I I hang out with men that are going to make my life better, that are going to teach me, to mentor me. There's a reason I hang out with JP. It's because he's a rental property guru. That's the reason I got a real estate license, because I wanted to build my own rental portfolio. So now I have a guy that owns, I don't know, 80, 100 rental units here, right? I surround myself with golfers, right? I'll put in his Instagram handle because I can't think of it right now. Breakthrough golf swing.
lessons. Yeah.
Breakthrough golf lessons.
Yep.
Fantastic guy. Helps me with golf. Any question I have about clubs, about swings, about whatever, always willing to go out of his way to put me on a simulator, just as a buddy thing, right? As a friendship thing. And I'm super lucky that I feel more lucky than probably anybody in that lounge that I have access to this group of men that help me in all different aspects of my life.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny you brought that up, because when we first started doing some of the recordings, and actually when we were doing the interviews, I was a little nervous, not gonna lie. Some of my answers were a little choppy, and it is what it is.
We're working through the editing.
Yeah.
New software, new camera, new everything.
And getting more comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a process.
Yeah.
It's also, and again, talk about evolution. I have no issues talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Face to face, out on the sidewalk, whatever the case may be, if it warrants the time and the energy.
Yeah.
But when you hit go and the red light on the camera comes on, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Like that, I am not in my comfort zone. I'm getting more comfortable with it. But back to what you said though, in my interview, I forgot to mention this because it absolutely pertained to the content and in those questions. Every Tuesday, I get on a phone call with two gentlemen in South Carolina. Terry Mayhew, nicknamed Mayhem on the golf course, and Lou Jacobs, which Terry and I affectionately call him the chairman of the board.
Yeah.
So when I lived down in Greenville, I would go over to Lou's house. We would meet at Lou's house every Tuesday, about 4:30, smoke cigars, drink whiskey, and just literally talk about life. And I'm telling you, we talked about everything because Mr. Jacobs is a chemical engineer that has worked for his life is, you talk about the Dos Equis, most interesting man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Mr. Jacobs is my most interesting man in the world. Turned 86 this year.
No kidding.
Okay, smoking cigars. When Terry and I play golf, which I believe Terry is 77 now.
Okay.
Lou will come out on the golf course. We'll get him a golf cart because they live in a private golf community, so they give him a golf cart. He'll drive around with us, and he's yelling like whatever we call him. He's out there critiquing us on our golf game. He's coaching us, but he's always got something, some wise ass comment, and I love him to death. But I call those guys every Tuesday when we can because of their wisdom.
Yeah.
And the stories they have to tell. Mr. Jacobs is a Hungarian immigrant that fled in the 50s when the Russians and had a sponsor family, a foster family, for like I guess for a better term,
Yeah.
in New York, Rochester, and grew up. Didn't even have when he left Hungary, he didn't even have a high school diploma.
Yeah.
He never had a high school education. And here in Campbell University, before they were Campbell University, they were Campbell College.
Yeah.
So he made his way to North Carolina somehow, went to Campbell College, got a high school diploma so he could go to Clemson University and get his chemical engineering degree.
That's insane. Yeah.
And now he has several patents on nanotechnology and vitamin E. And one of the biggest things, and when he and I met, he was in the phase of his life where, and I think he still consults on stuff now, but they were building big, vitamin, E factories and all these places overseas.
Yeah.
So a man of the world, traveled, done everything.
So I was going to ask, you meet these two guys at Cameroon or what?
So I met Terry and Lou through a Saturday cigar club that I was going to, that I was introduced to from one of my wife's lifelong girlfriends that also lived in the same golf community.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
It's a small world scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, Steve needs to come up here and smoke cigars with Ray and the boys." And so I started. So they didn't know any of those guys.
Yeah.
They let me in, talked about whatever, started playing golf with a couple of them. And so I would go every Saturday. And so Mr. Mayhew was coming to that golf or that cigar club on Saturdays. So I met them through that cigar club. And then we started smoking cigars on Tuesday, which actually in my interview, that's what I talked about. At that point in time, I probably had only made maybe 2 cigar purchases that I was going to smoke those cigars and put them in my desktop humidor.
Yeah.
Way early on in my cigar smoking journey.
Okay.
Other than just occasional stuff in the military. And then I started smoking every Saturday. Then I started smoking on Tuesday. Then I started smoking on Thursday on my own on my back patio. And then I'm buying cigar, and then away we go. So yeah, so those guys have been with me in my cigar journey almost kind of all along.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will call them back on Tuesdays. We meet. I'm here. I got my scotch. I got my cigar. And we, for 30 minutes, we smoke cigars and tell jokes and share wisdom. And, again, from those men that are mentors as men, they're passing on their wisdom.
Yeah.
Again, it's a great experience. Like, I carve out my time so I can call them on Tuesday at 4:30.
Yeah.
It is on my calendar.
Do you think that your relationship, because it happens at some point usually, but do you think that you have switched now from being like they are incredibly important to your life as a mentor to now that they're getting up there in age that maybe you are more important to them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayhew calls me. He's like, "You're my hero,"
Yeah.
from all my military experience. His son-in-law is a captain in the sheriff's department. I'm not going to say what county because I can't remember exactly, but here in I think could be in Hickory or Huntersville area,
Okay.
here in North Carolina. His daughter used to smoke cigars with him,
Yeah.
you know, and she got away from it from having kids and from smoking on the
Yeah.
kids, all that stuff. But yeah, so I'm bringing some of my experiences to their life now.
Yeah.
Again, this podcast, like, oh man, it sounds like you're going to do great on that. Like, they're super encouraging, very supportive. That's awesome. You're doing this project that you can really, you love and you can sink your teeth into. But yeah, it's but definitely there is give and take on both sides of that. My stories from the military, they love hearing those stories.
Yeah.
And again, their worldly travels. Terry was in sales, so he's got a wealth of knowledge on, again, when you meet people and how do you start the conversation and how do you develop it, through email and follow-ups, and like there's always something to learn from the people we surround ourselves with, which there again, if you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people
Mm-hmm.
and pick their brains, so it's a great time playing golf with them, which, to your point, you and I've talked a lot too about um these men in our lives and the circles that now we operate in. I mean, you have Clifton with
Yeah.
Alpha Male. You've got JP.
Well, Clifton and Shane together, because I
And
see a lot
yeah,
more of Shane.
uh
But yeah, I mean, yeah,
JP, Jeff,
yeah. Jeff Fuller,
pro,
pro.
Jeff Fuller,
Yeah, I
pro,
mentioned him
yeah,
in my interview. But
yeah, which is again, we consider the cigar lounge with those guys and have that experience.
yeah,
And that's again why we wanted to really do this project, is to take that cigar lounge experience, put it here, and then put it in the camera,
yeah,
and then give it to anybody else that you know wants to consume that content.
yeah. And that's something I'm really excited about, which we're still trying to iron out the details. But not just us being in front of the camera, but getting these other guys in front of the camera, whether it's going to the lounge or bringing them here, is just, it could be, storytelling, it could be casual conversation, but some way to introduce more faces and more stories and more names, because just as we're networking very hard on the back end, is if we can sit somebody down here with us, that's an automatic portal to a network that when people travel to Charlotte, and go to these various lounges, they already know the names and the faces of the people that they're going to run into there. Next time, well, when I go to Miami, I'm already going to know these people that you just met. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to go with work and school. But if we end up making it down there together too, then you get to just walk me in front of these people, which I'm super
Definitely.
excited for. April, if this little project works out, we'll be in where are we gonna be? Seminole, Florida, like
Yep.
St. Petersburg area.
Yep.
Uh, hopefully it works out. We get to meet our buddy Noe. Um, we don't know exactly what everything entails, but
Which
either way, it's gonna be awesome.
on that note, back to the boutique space.
Yeah.
No EFDZ cigars, La Puerta Negra 49. Shout out to my man Noe in California. He pops up on my Instagram. Algorithm Monster's doing its thing, right? Pops up. Boom, his brand sticks out. I'm like, man, like that guy gets it.
Yeah.
Like his artwork is phenomenal. I'm like, okay. Like, heart this, heart that, blah, blah, blah. We're doing the whole Instagram thing. And so I'm like, okay, I want to know more. So I'm a research guy.
Yeah.
Boom. Pull up the computer, get on laptop, start doing some searches, find him, start digging in. Oh, turns out he's from the same town in California that I was born, Fresno, California. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I sent him a DM. Hey, man, I love your brand, the colors. Like, that's a hit as far as I'm concerned. If I saw your cigar in a store, again, we shop with our eyes, you're going to get my attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So we DM back and forth like maybe twice, a couple days. And I was like, hey, I just want to double check. Like I did some research on your company. I'm very interested in it. I see you and I could potentially be from the same city, at least where I was born anyway. Bam, my phone rings. It's an Instagram phone call. And I'm like, okay, so boop, I answer it. Like, he's like, hey man, he's like, just want to let you know I'm not really big on messaging. You know, I'm out working right now. Da 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 da. It's like, so I just figured I would just call you. Okay. So I literally talked to Noe for like an hour
Yeah.
through an Instagram phone call because he again is super approachable.
Yeah.
And he's authentic and he's genuine. So, now we text message back and forth on the phone calls, which again, he had brought up that he's going to be in Tampa doing Mike Allstott's charity tournament. He's going to have the cigars down there, the tent, the whole deal. He's like, hey man, how far are you from Tampa? I'm like, doesn't matter. What's the dates? I'll send you the flyer. Boom.
Yeah.
Like, hey Zach, want to go to Tampa on these dates? Like, yeah. Like, all right, let's go. So we're going to go meet Noe FDZ.
Yeah.
And do the face to face because that's important. And oh, by the way, the boutique space is all about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the weird thing. I think that's why I fit in, at least in the aspects that I do fit in the cigar world. It's like, regardless of my age, I'm not like a technology guy. I'm not the instant messenger guy, Facebook Messenger. It drives me nuts. I'd rather, call me or text me and say, hey, come meet me at the lounge. Hey, come over to my house. Hey, come whatever. Because I'm not going to have a conversation on a phone call through an email. My brain doesn't work that way. I start to short circuit. So the fact, yeah, we're just going to hang everything up and sprint down to Florida for 2 or 3 days just to sit in front of Noe and get to know the guy in person.
yeah, 100%.
Because as awesome as he's been to us through social media, every time I repost him, hardest stuff, he's sending me messages. Thanks for the support.
100%.
Same thing with Eduardo, right? Aremio Cigars.
Yeah.
It's like at least I need to get down and sit face to face with these people, and just because I consider them friends already, and I've never even met the person,
Which I kind of been holding Eduardo off. I've been like, hey, I might be down there sooner than you think. Well, what do you got going on? I've just got a thing going on. But when we post up on Instagram that the video is going to be out, he's going to get a hold of wind of it. So I guess I'll text Eduardo, hey man, we're coming to Tampa on these dates. Like, let's have lunch, let's do the thing. Because he wants to come down there so bad too. But yeah. And that's which you touched on that, the way we designed our project and the whole technology has given us a great way to reach out and touch somebody and connect with them at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we designed this project to be super portable.
Yep.
Within reason, within your schedule, which, again, having you on the project and you and I talked about it, we're like, hey man, are you good with this? This is gonna, when this thing gets rolling, it's gonna take some time out of your day. Which, so everybody knows, Zach and I were both in the military, and you were a medic by your job in the military. Crack medic, seen all the bad stuff. Now he's going to school to become a nurse. So he's mixing in, doing this. We're learning the edited piece as we go. I mean, we are all we got. And he's still working on his degree, So we have these super like, man, let's travel here, let's travel there. Like, wow, what's your schedule like, man? So we got to work it in. But so yeah, there could be a situation where, I'm retired, I have the time to travel by myself, but the brand is still Zach and I. And it's like, so yeah, I could be out there by myself. And we had talked about this earlier, but at the end of the day, he and I are working on this project behind the scenes. Everybody's putting in the time, the best way we can with our schedules. Life always gets a vote.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, but we're definitely going to drop everything and go see Noe, meet him, scoot in, see Eduardo, see Aremio, touch base with them. Which again, all the connections that I made at the Miami Cigar Festival, I told them the same thing. Like, look, we're totally mobile. Like, If there's a way we could link up and like do something at it on site where you're at, like great. Otherwise, another piece of technology we're gonna have to learn.
Yeah.
Zoom it in, whatever, split screen it, doing that thing. Um,
Well, so that's what I was getting into with we built this project as portable as possible. The iPhone gimbals, the all the mounts and the lights and the cables and batteries, everything is so GoPros we can pick up and go and set up, hopefully somewhat normal. But again, we're learning the software and the settings and everything, so everything might seem a little disjointed now with him going out on the road alone, taking some of the equipment, trying to learn it on his end. I'm trying to learn stuff on the back end. Each episode might look a little different from each other, but we're gonna try to set a standard.
yeah. Well, and when we talked about this, when we were putting this idea on the cocktail napkin, so to speak, and we both talked about it in our interviews with the founders, videos that we did. Authenticity and credibility are super high priorities.
Yeah.
We're not going to speak about topics we don't know or understand. Are there stories to be told? 100%.
Yeah.
But again, the stories are going to be told, and they're going to be sure that the just due is given to the individuals and the content of that story. But the authentic piece is that you and I started this project with no real proficient knowledge on editing software, how to manipulate Instagram, video, live, this, that, photography. And now AI is a thing,
Yeah.
And in fact, I I messaged Angelo again. A shout out to the Gentleman Smoke, New Smyrna Beach, Florida. I messaged Angelo and I was like, this is overwhelming, dude.
Yeah.
Like I love what you're doing and how you're doing it. Now Angelo's a musician.
Yeah.
He gets it. He's all into the soundboards and the whatever. He's like, hey man, I'm still kind of learning. You just got to play with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we're trying to get content out on a regular basis. Like, how much time do we really have to play with it? He's like, dude, trust your process.
Yeah.
Super encouraging guy. Love Angelo to death. I love his content, what he's putting out there.
Yeah.
But I do. I'm on Instagram all the time, and I'm looking at what all of these other people are doing. I'm like, hey, how do you do that? Teach me the ways, Obi-Wan. Like,
Well, it's funny because you just said right at the Cigar Fest, or you told me before we started recording, right? You were getting asked now, how do you put your logo on the thing?
yeah,
And you're like, and I always pick on you, like every time we're in here. Did you ever see yourself here? Did you ever see yourself talking about likes and hashtags and reposting? But I mean, I think we're doing the best we can with what we have, with the money that's been invested, with the time. Uh, and it's if we challenge ourselves to be 1% better every day, we're also challenging the brand to be 1% better every day. And I think we'll see everybody's going to see some pretty significant changes between each episode.
well, and that's the commitment to grow.
Yeah.
Like again, evolve or die.
Yeah.
Perfection is unattainable. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not even what we're talking about, really. We're just talking about making the concentrated day-to-day effort to be sure that relationships are cultivated authentically.
Mm-hmm.
We really want to continue to talk to the people that we meet. Because again, if we're talking about cigar culture and we're talking about this vessel, this artisanal product, this handcrafted thing, and the authenticity that goes into a cigar,
Yeah.
then, that is going to be an ever evolving process for us. Now, is there such a thing as we're getting started? We see what the Joneses are doing, and we're like, man, you know, But it's like, we're gonna. It's again like Angela told me, like, dude, you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
You'll get there. And that's what you and I have been committed to is what a term like I say, burning the gas.
Yeah.
Go travel. We've got all these little micro trips that are here in North Carolina that we got to go get out to and give those people, their attention that they deserve because they've given us the attention. We've had the phone conversations,
Yeah.
you know, and and be sure because we want when you do a project like this, yes, do you want to get to the space where you have guests? 100%. We're probably going to be graded on that.
Yeah.
Okay. But the other piece is the guest is not just a guest. It is somebody that once the podcast is done, I'm still checking in with you, you're still checking in with them. We are still having conversations about, hey, I see what you did. Hey, how'd the cigar festival go in
Yeah.
Orlando? Hey, I see you're teasing the new blend, like super excited for you.
Yeah.
Again, Noe's starting to throw out the tequila teasers now.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
And I'm like mouth watering. I'm
Yeah.
going like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me hurry up and drink all the rest of what I got now because I need room in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Again, Eduardo, we have conversations almost weekly, Auremio and I, and I fill you in and all that stuff. New blends he's got going on. He's going to send us some samplers to taste and see, just see what we think.
Yeah.
I mean, just see what Zach and Steve think.
Yep.
And that's the relationships that are so awesome about the cigar culture. Going back to the Miami Cigar Festival, I was able to actually have conversations with the owners of the brand, talk about their blends, smoke it right there in front of them, or at least smoke it the next day. Hey, love that cigar.
Yeah.
I need more. Again, Fermin Perez, super approachable guy. Love having conversations with him. Esencia Tabacalera, loved having conversations with them. Superior Standard, Grouchy Monkey, Miss Sable, Katana Dixon, love having conversation with her.
Yeah.
I mean, her personality is just like boom, like she's just there.
Yeah.
And charisma. And oh, by the way, Sable, we talked about the fingernails because they're real. They're out there.
Yeah.
We had a conversation about that. So it was a great time. Where I'm going with all of this is they're not just guests. They are helping us build what you and I want to build.
Yeah.
So there again, the guests are not for clicks and likes and hearts, all these other things. Does that help? It does because of the parameters that social media has.
Yeah.
Okay. So in order for you and I to evolve to where we really want to be, we've got to get the clicks and the likes. We've got to put out credible and authentic content. But we've talked about this off camera tons and tons and tons. We're just sitting around smoking cigars, at the lounge or whatever. The guests, the people that we reach out to that we are going to ask to be on here, really the pitch is, will you help me build my brand?
Yeah. I mean, I like where you're going with it because it's not like other podcasts where like, oh, I got a chance to interview blah blah blah. They come on, you get an hour and a half of them, and then you never see them or hear from them again. Is that going to happen? Yeah, sure. Don't get me wrong, but it's more about colliding our universes together. Right, we have a network, they have a network. Let's come together so that people see our names. If they're looking for you, they'll see our name. If they're looking for us, they'll see your name. And then we're merging networks to build a bigger and stronger and more vast society of cigar smokers with the help of our friends. Right,
Yes.
that's the thing. They're not business partners, not sponsors, not super high class celebrities. It's our friends in the cigar world.
100%. Which I'll tie that in with a couple of things. Kelsey and I talked about this because she again asked us about our project and how we want to do it. And the Miami Cigar Festival gave me a perfect way to answer her question.
Yeah.
And I was like, Kelsey, I showed up at this hotel knowing nobody. There wasn't a single person that was going to be at the kickoff party or at the event on Saturday that I can say that I know them.
Yeah.
Again, I DM'd with Orlando a couple of times, and he made me feel very warm and welcome even doing that. But I was like, our goal for our project, for Zach and I, is to do this podcast correctly with the credibility and the authentic conversations and the way we approach the topics, so that when we come to future events, or Zach and I come to the Miami Cigar Festival next year, we now can walk in and be like shaking hands, hugging people. Man, how you doing? How's it? I love what you guys were doing on this one thing.
Yeah.
And now we have friends wherever we go.
Yeah.
And the gratitude will be there for them helping us build our project to have friends wherever we go.
Yeah.
And my experience at the Smoking Frenchies, Manny Idiate put his hand on my shoulder and he's like, Steve, you are welcome here anytime. You are family.
Yeah.
You're in town, let us know, come on by. The first day I met that guy, 5 hours later, his hand's on my shoulder and he's talking to me like, he really wants to see how we're going to do this thing.
Yeah.
Because he is a talented, brilliant individual that understands artistry, the podcast space. He's very specific on that.
Yeah.
Attention to detail it's amazing.
And that's something that I think I'm having trouble with. Like, I want to be personable. I want this project to be kind of raw, right? To be natural conversations. I want my friends to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it. But I also know that the further we climb the ladder, the more there is a professional aspect to it. And I want to make sure that when we get to sit down with important people, that we are doing it the right way.
100%.
And I think that only happens through repetition, right? So I don't know. I think we're going to rely a lot on our friends that are in our ecosystem right now. We're going to be growing with them. And then one day we might have the chance to be the guys that are like reaching a hand down and picking people up.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Yeah, that's a great point. And I'm going to get back to that in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But let's face it, there's a podcast circuit to be had.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But to your point, as this evolves, make no mistake, notes are always being taken on the high tide that helped raise our ship.
Yeah.
So I think there's a delicate balance to be had there. In fact, my buddy Mike, when we got back to his house, and again, I was thanking him, and I was just like, I kind of went a little fanboy on him, I was like, it was, but Mike said something to me, and he chuckled while he was saying it because he knew, and again, those successful people, their networks are not by accident.
Yeah.
Okay. The Smoking Frenchies, in fact, Manny and his partner Dave Levy and Peter Cologne, Mike's business partner, like we all talked about that one thing very specifically. The Smoking Frenchies is not an accident.
Yeah.
Luck was not involved there.
Yeah.
It is a vision. It is reputation. It is attention to detail, perseverance, persistence is how that is created. And then once it's created, the maintenance level is always going to be a way more expensive, in air quotes, endeavor.
Yeah.
Because you have got to maintain the relationships and the authenticity and being sure that those are not burned
Yeah.
as things become more successful. Okay. And that's what I loved about that group of men sitting in that lounge, was those guys are elite, high performing men that are genuine and authentic, and they get it.
Yeah.
And you can have a conversation with them. They're approachable. So I say all that to say, that's what we're trying to do. You know, and, oh, I'm sorry. I was also so Mike said with a laugh, get back to what he said. He's like, Steve, he goes, getting in the circle is the easy part. He's like, don't get kicked out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And I was like,
Yeah.
noted, sir. Yeah. So don't get kicked out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. All these relationships that we're networking, and again, we go to these events and these relationships, they are not just fly by night. You know, I want to be able to text Orlando 3 years from now, 4 years from now. You know, Superior Standard Cigars. Talk to them again. Hey man, I haven't seen you guys in a while. How's everything going? The cigar, Fermin Perez. You know, those guys, those companies are only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
You know, and still to be able to walk up and have a handshake and be, hey man, it's good to see you. How's everything going? Those are the conversations of what we continue to talk about, and we want this project to be able to create.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, growth is going to be inevitable. We want to grow, but you cannot grow and then look back and see, you know, people that have been left by the side of the road. Like that can't, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It can't happen.
Yeah.
We're not built that way, and we don't want to build the project that way, and our relationships are not going to be built that way.
Yeah.
You know, now if we're part of the piece that's left on the side of the road, we can't control that. We can only control what we can control.
Yeah.
And again, and so I love that you brought that up, because those are super key points.
Yeah.
I mean, and make no mistake, we're building this in a garage with our own checking accounts.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the way we want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Being beholden to something and whatever is just, it's not how we're going to do this project.
Yeah. Modern day, it's so easy to see a business that just explodes off of day one, or they put so much money into it, there's no way it can fail. And then maybe they do crash and burn. And, they're out millions, they're out whatever, right? Monetary, emotionally, whatever. And I think it's so like the world of instant gratification that we live in right now.
So let's talk about that real quick. We've talked about how we want to build it, okay?
Yeah.
And we've talked about the things that we feel are necessary, like our non-negotiables, right?
Yeah.
Relationships, credibility, authenticity, 1% better every day, evolving our skills, you know, as we develop, you know, production is going to develop, equipment's going to develop. Those are the things that need to happen. But we have our list of wants too.
Yeah.
We don't want to be in a garage forever. Okay. Which, on that note, speaking of garages and studios, I would be remiss if I did not mention this as well. Sitting there on Saturday, smoking my cigar with Brian, biceps and bourbon with Kelsey. Who walks onto the patio? Sean Mobley. Cigar TV is in the house. And I was like, okay. Deep breath. Got a lot of people around him. So I kind of waited. Didn't stalk him.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to stand in line. I learned a little bit about some people that know Sean very well. Actually, really a quiet guy. Was standing off by himself, smoking a cigar. The initial blast of Sean Mobley just walked in, kind of died down. I'm like, now's my chance.
Yeah.
Walk on over, introduce myself, and I told him about us. I said, hey, I just want to let you know, full transparency. What you have done with Cigar TV was a massive inspiration for us to even try a podcast.
Yeah.
The way you go out and about, the relationships you've built through Cigar TV and how you've built it. You've got all the bases covered. You've got burn rate. You've got unrolled. You've got uncut. You've touched really almost all the fingers on the hand of cigar culture and cigar community. And you do it very well. And I watch all your content, you know, so I kind of like went fanboy real quick and then went back to like not fanboy.
Yeah.
But I was like, I just want to let you know, like, you're the reason why I built up my garage, you know, and I love what you. And he's like, man, he's like, thank you so much. Shook my hand again. He's like, that is awesome. I wish you guys all the best. He's like, anything you need, advice, anything I could offer you. He's like, please hit me up.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Super nice guy. Just couldn't, you know, and again, 6'9", 5'9". Like there was a disparity there.
Yeah.
So I'm talking up to Sean and he's looking down at me.
Yeah.
But he's again a professional. He's a pro.
Yeah.
Engaging you, eye contact, all the things.
Yeah.
You know, so great experience. Got to meet him. And again, even when I got home, hey, it was great meeting you. Sent him the DM. He's like, hey man, it was a pleasure. Again, anything you need. It was a great meeting you. Good luck with everything. You know, it got right back to me that day. So,
Yeah.
you know, again, a shout out to Cigar TV, Sean Mobley. He's a real one. You know, he knows what he's doing. And again, one of those individuals that we will continue to look at, like, you know, not copying.
Yeah.
But let's face it, the podcast wheel has been built.
Yeah.
We're not going to reinvent another one.
Nope.
We're not even going to try. But again, we're watching the others that are out there already been doing it.
Yeah.
Because they're helping us with these things. So yeah, great experience, you know. So yeah, man, it was just, you know, to recap the weekend and the trip I took. Again, it's kind of like our initial, what is a cigar event like? Networking, shaking the hands, asking the questions, you know, who's receptive, all those stuff. So overall, again, Orlando and the team, my guy, Miami Cigar Festival, 10 out of 10, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
And and so as we look forward to some of those things, like those are going to be places that are really just an awesome environment and everybody is there promoting everybody else.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was a fantastic experience. So
I think just like you build any other business, any other portfolio, whatever, is that we're going to go try out these events, whether it's one or both of us. And then that's getting added to the docket every year,
Yep.
going back, meeting the same people, shaking the same hands, sharing cigars, coffees, drinks.
Yep.
And hopefully, you know, if we can get the portable aspect of all of this kind of ironed out, that we'll be able to go back every year and, you know, do a big 2026, 2027, 2028 like recap actually on the AO, not coming back here to recap it.
And one of the things that I learned while I was there from that aspect, from the production, from the content space, again, super green, like beyond rookie on that aspect. I mean, 53 years old, so it's like I got a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, easily, boom, sit the phone down, hit play, Instagram Live or whatever. Hey, this is Steve and Zach. You know, we're with whomever at whatever event. You know, check this person out. They got a great thing going, whatever. And again, yeah, we're promoting ourselves naturally because we're posting the content.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is we also want to be sure that the person we're speaking to is promoted correctly and that they are growing as well. Again, we want to grow with our friends that we're making.
Yeah.
So any way we can help do that. So that's one thing I didn't do a lot of. Again, there's a lot of music, a lot of things going on. But now that I kind of got my feet wet and can give you the debrief on that and how that's going to go next time. And again, you weren't with me.
Yeah.
So I know, you know, a lot of stuff that I don't know. So when we're together, there's two of us now taking pictures and again, can you drop the phone down and like, you're not going to call me or like, hey, Steve, you got to come over here right now so we do the thing. Like you're doing the thing and I'm doing the thing. And like, we're going to be together doing the thing. And so it's like, yeah, you know, this was a huge. I went down there specifically to learn.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is the first time our brand has been in the public space, right? Has been to an event, it's been put in front of people. We don't want to show up obnoxious day one, right? Be in
Yeah,
everybody's face, trying to interview people. It's much more comfortable for us to have people kind of recognize us through
yeah,
just through Instagram posts or whatever, and be
yeah,
like, "Oh, you're the guys from." And I think that's very important, is that we walk our way into the
yeah.
atmosphere and not just try to kick the doors down.
Well, and that's even another. We talk about like being, comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Asking somebody for their time.
yeah,
For me, maybe if I was a little younger, you know, it may not be something that I was incredibly concerned about. It'd be more of like a, hey, let's put the phone down, do some, let's do, let's do a quick convo for like 2 or 3 minutes, as opposed to how I approach it now. Like, would you mind
hmm
if even, would you mind if I even got a picture with you? Is that okay?
yeah,
Because again, they're at tables doing business. So somebody coming in and wanting pictures and to put the phone up real quick and do a hot video take, whatever, that is their time.
yeah,
So maybe I'm being overly cautious. I don't know. But I feel that's just the best way I'm going to approach it,
yeah,
you know. Um, but as the relationships become more regular and they're more common and the more event and you're seeing each other 2 or 3 times a year at different places, then yeah, it's going to be like, not even going to be an issue because we all want everyone to see that we're together and we haven't seen each other for a while. So boom, phone goes up and like,
yeah,
yeah, da, da, da.
yeah.
So yeah, that's the other thing too, is like, I just want to be sure that somebody's time is, ask for their time,
Well,
not the expectation of you're going to give it to me.
yeah, there's a big difference too between like scheduling time to go down to interview somebody, right? Call up, hey, we're coming down to Tampa. Will you sit down with us for an hour and a half? Um, we want to put you on an episode. Versus going to an event with camera and audio equipment and then asking somebody the first time you've ever met them.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We said it a billion times. Friendships, networking, right? Relationships. Um, just getting in front of these people, shaking their hand, introducing ourselves, and not being like everybody else. And not in the cigar world just alone, but any other YouTuber, podcaster, sidewalk interviewer, just like sticking a camera and a microphone in somebody's face, that's going to ruin everything for us. So
Yeah.
it's developing friendships, business relationships, podcast appearances, and then continuing to
Yeah.
cultivate that and nurture that relationship.
Well, just like there's a time and a place for everything, well, there's a time and a space for everything.
Yeah.
And again, walking up to a vendor that's there promoting their brand and asking for their time and a picture and a timeout, and everybody's grubby and grabbing and they want their free cigars and things of that nature. Um, it's again, timing is everything in
Yeah.
my opinion. That's just I think the best way to really show the respect of the person, to respect their brand, respect their hustle,
Yeah.
because they're out there hustling, building their brand as well. Yeah, it's I think it should be treated with delicacy initially,
Yeah.
and then as the familiarization and the relationships are cultivated and built, then yeah, those would be a lot more easier done and absolutely be welcomed, time spent,
Yeah.
So
Oh, so was it Friday night that you went down and the dude was on the stilts?
oh yeah,
What
yeah.
was that?
So that was a Cuban entertainment crew that came in.
Okay.
The dancers, the guy on the stilts. There was a guy with the big mask on, like the big oversized head.
Yeah.
That was the music and entertainment piece for that night.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, dancers, limbo,
Yeah.
like they went all out. I mean,
Yeah.
phenomenal. You know, again, that Cuban experience.
Mhm.
You know, and even at the after party, you know, at Mr. Valdez's lounge at the Sabor Havana, Cuban people know how to party.
Yeah.
The culture. Now, I'm not saying that the partying is in their culture, but celebration.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he doesn't really have a dance floor, but one was made,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there was dancing to be had.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and again, that whole culture down there in Miami, like that's a thing. Like if you're shy and you're trying to like be in the Miami scene, like good luck with that. You're just gonna get swept away with
Yeah.
the tide,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I loved watching that and meeting the people and the conversations. Um, just again, it was an amazing experience,
Yeah.
you know, and because we don't have any of that up here.
No.
We're in North Carolina. That doesn't exist. Not because it shouldn't. It's just regionally, we're not built on that.
Well, and we're sat in the middle between our two biggest cities, right? Roughly the middle. Got to travel northeast to hit Raleigh. Got to travel west to hit Charlotte. It's not a quick. I mean, it's not a horrible drive, but
No.
spending a couple hours in a car.
But even if you go to those places, the Cuban experience is primarily talked about in the blend of the cigar.
Yeah.
And the history of cigars.
Yeah.
Down in Miami, you are
Surrounded by it.
super involved
Yeah.
in the Cuban experience
Yeah.
from the food and the music
Yeah.
and the dress and the language,
The artwork.
the
I mean,
artwork.
Yeah, the murals that you see.
Yeah, it's
insane.
all, I mean, you are all in down there. So, yes, naturally, when you go to a cigar lounge, you would be hard pressed to not hear Cuban music playing
Oh,
in the
yeah.
background,
Yeah.
you know, and the attendance in the cigar lounge, more than likely, going to be Latino.
Yeah.
Because this is their culture. The cigars are their culture. It's embedded in their culture.
Yeah.
Again, old world, new world.
Yep.
New world, you and I, it's we smoke the cigar to experience that culture.
Yeah.
It's not embedded in our lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great experience. You know, and I made the joke to my buddy Mike, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a quarterly visit down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, all right, so July good for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, man, it's gonna be hot down here. I'm like, well, I know a guy's got a pool. So, but yeah, definitely, we are definitely gonna get back down there. Tampa. Like I said, you know, Tampa Heritage Week is the first week of December. Not quite the same as Ybor.
Yeah.
The Tampa Cigar Week, which just took place. But make no mistake, cigars are embedded in Ybor Heritage Week. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
In fact, predominantly, it's going to be a reboot of Tampa Cigar Week.
Yeah.
But you know, it celebrates Ybor, the city, and the history of the city and everything. So that's in December. Like I said, we're going down in the middle of April to meet Noe and at the Mike Allstott Charity Golf Tournament, which that's really Noe's space. Like he's got the NFL on lock.
Yeah.
Like and they're all about it.
Well, and is it Lorenzo with PIA?
Yeah.
Right.
He made the cigar for Lorenzo Neal,
Yeah.
one of his best friends.
Yeah.
You know, so already, you know, and he's got the tequila, like Noe is a rocket ship.
Yeah.
To be sure.
Yeah.
So, but again, super approachable. Even like honestly, we get on a call with Noe, like we're locked in for an hour.
Yeah.
Just make no mistake.
Yeah.
You know, because he's so authentic in the way he talks about his journey and how he even got to cigars. Which, on that note, real quick, fun fact about Noe. Noe is a contractor and a custom cabinet maker there in California. Does a lot of predominantly high-end remodels. Again, millionaires, billionaires, NFL players, you know, redoing their houses, their bathrooms, things of that nature. The boxes that he has designed for his cigar and Lorenzo Neal's cigar, he makes those himself in his cabinet factory.
Yeah.
Or in his warehouse. So literally, other than the actual rolling of the cigar, which was done by a shout out to Dapper. Ian is his blender. Phenomenal blend. Dapper does great cigars. I got to get my hands on some. But other than that, Noe's hands literally on everything about his cigar.
Yeah.
He designed that band. He builds the boxes himself, paints them, everything. All he does that himself.
Yeah.
You know, so again, that's that boutique space where you really have people that are out there hustling and grinding for their brand. And you find unique situations like that. So phenomenal.
Yeah. I'd be curious when he posts more on his tequila. Like, what's the backstory? Where's it coming from? Who's distilling it? Who's making the bottles?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if that picture he posted, maybe it's like first run batch or maybe it's a rendering, but when he posted the 4 bottles, oh, dude,
Yeah.
I was immediately on it, like it was like posted 5 minutes ago, and I'm like, I can't wait.
I know. And again, and he hits you right back.
Oh, every time.
Yeah.
Every
Super
time.
responsive.
Yeah.
You know, and make no mistake, everybody that I have contacted post Miami Cigar Festival, again,
Yeah.
thanking them for their time, cultivating the relationship. Yes, I mentioned that we have a podcast. I'm not pushing it.
Yeah.
But as soon as they hear that, they're like, hit me up when you want me on there.
Yeah.
You know, just great people.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that Eduardo, again, the relationships we're building, Arimio, super responsive.
So actually, and I think we kind of lost the footage of it. But how did you initially come in contact with Eduardo?
Great question. Because now we get to give a shout out to our guy,
Yeah.
Anthony Williams, at Tony Drawco on Instagram.
Yep.
He texts me, hey, you got a minute? I need to get on a call. I'm like, too easy. Boom. He discovered Eduardo.
Okay.
And honestly, full transparency, I don't think Tony and I have got to the bottom of that story. He's like, hey, want to connect you guys? I'm like, absolutely. Bam. So we get connected. Next day, Eduardo and I scheduled a phone call, talked for an hour. You know, I even talked, and so we start going back and forth. I talked to Eduardo a little bit about what the smoking standard as a name.
Yeah.
I ran some of our other names by him. He's like, I don't know.
So this was like probably 2.5 months before we locked anything down. Well before we even bought the equipment, right? I think we might have been messing around with GoPros or something. We even have microphones.
Yep.
So that goes back to how far ago Eduardo was even playing a role in our own branding.
Yep. And so I kind of pitched our thing. He's like, dude, love it. You know, and so we start going back and forth. Now, Eduardo hits me up. Hey, man, you got a minute to chat? Yeah, sure, cool. Boom. And again, Eduardo and I, probably 30, 45 minute minimum every time we talk.
Yeah.
He asked me just my take on the new cigar he's coming out with, Operius.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? You know, working man cigar. You know, we say working man cigar, but that budget cigar. You know, I'm like, dude, love the idea. Like, send me a sample. Yeah, I got to get you some sample. So those are on the way.
Yeah.
You know, Eduardo's got plans for some other cigars. Got to keep that. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we're talking and asking each other's advice, what we think. So yeah, great relationship. Again, the networking piece. You know, and Anthony's up in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a couple hours up the road. So, and he's like, you know, got to get you guys up here. Let's go to this lounge. Let's go to that lounge. Super supportive. You know, Anthony's a big advocate. Reposts all of our stuff. Great guy. He's from New Jersey. He connected me with his favorite cigar lounge when he used to live in New Jersey. Had a phone call with them. Got a beach house in Outer Banks. Said, man, we got to do some content at the beach house. It's, you know, too easy, man.
Yeah.
You know, so and then I've been doing the same thing. Connect, like, hey, go check out Uncle Polly.
Yeah.
down in a Calabash, Patriot Cigars. Like, so then we start tossing these names around because, again, I think that's appropriate and it's fair.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we're making all these connections. And again, they're great, genuine people that I can hit up anytime and they get right back to us and we talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Body A 1492, Uncle Paulie.
Yep.
He liked it. I'd already smoked it. Now we're connected. Now we push that brand because it is a great, phenomenal cigar.
Well, you brought it in, gave me a red initially.
Yeah.
And I was shocked just looking at the cigar. I'm like, what? It's a really cool brand, like the branding, the band. But then I look at it and I'm like, oh, that wrapper is orange. Like, that's like a red orange. That's something you don't see too often.
Yep.
You tell me the whole history behind it, and then you bring
Yep.
me a black and a red. Smoked them. Tremendous cigars that we never would have known about had we not been on Instagram, just pushing these networking, just trying to connect with people.
Yeah. That's actually how I learned about Body A. Again, algorithm monster doing its thing.
Yeah.
They pop up, boom, click on the thing, go to the website, read the history. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Bam. Bought 2 samplers of each.
And so what's their thing? And I may not have it off the top of your head, but they have 2 different cigars in only 3 Vitolas?
Correct.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 Vitolas.
2 Vitola. 2 cigars, 2 Vitolas.
Yep. Robusto, Toro.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the website,
red and black.
Yeah. Website's super pretty.
Yep.
All the aesthetics. You go
Yeah.
in, it tells you about the cigars, contact us,
Yep.
has their address on there.
Their customer service is super responsive.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of goes back to what I was saying about the podcast, right? You start where you can start, where it's comfortable, and you just do what you do and you do it better.
Yep.
Right? It's like they're making 2 cigars and 2 Vitolas, and they're awesome.
Yep.
Right? Their social media game is good. Good customer service is good. You got people on Instagram, I'm sure on other platforms too, pushing their cigars. What they're doing is very effective, and I think that's part of a replication we're taking, not from a media, they're not media, right? But we're taking that aspect of their branding,
Yep.
do what we do it as best as we can, and then go from there.
Well, and it's just like you and I talked before we got on camera. Master the basics.
Yeah.
And Body A has done that. They don't need every single Vitola represented or, and Figurados versus, Parejos. They have something that they believe in and they have mastered that belief.
Yeah.
Therefore, you have a product that everybody loves.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, So, and we had talked about that with ours. Master our basics, get our editing down at a very basic level to put out a solid, engaging product that, again, as our network grows, they will enjoy being a part of our network.
Yeah.
Conversely, and we are authentic and credible. And anybody that we mention, the shout outs that we give are people that we genuinely do want to give the shout outs to because they are the relationships and the friendships that we want to cultivate to help us grow. We want to grow this with our friends.
Yeah.
New friends, old friends, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always going to come back to the relationships, period. Bad relationships don't produce anything.
Yeah.
And our goal, we've talked about this in the cocktail napkin phase, is once a week. And again, Mike, my friend, but he's also a mentor.
Yeah.
He had a podcast before COVID that was amazing. It was called the Cuban Coffee Experience. And that is how he started every episode. The guests would come in, he'd make them a Cuban coffee, and they would slide it and start talking to him, creating the content.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, Steve, the key is you have to continue to stay out there, not only so the algorithm monster can do its thing, but if you're not out there on a regular, consistent basis, then you're just not going to be thought about.
Yeah. You keep falling off the stack.
Yeah. And even when you do put new content out, yeah, your true believers and your friends are going to be out there. They're going to take a look at it. But again, yeah, we're falling off the stack. You're not going to be in the other little feeds when somebody clicks on some other cigar content that you're somewhere in that menu,
Yeah.
you know. So you have to stick to that. So that's, and I know we're going to really try to do that. But again, our learning curve is going to dictate that. So as we grow our content now, and you've said it several times already in this episode, probably a little raw, not as refined and polished, but that is the goal.
Yeah.
And we will get to that space.
Yeah.
You know, but where we lack in the polishing and the production piece, we are committed to making up for that in the authentic, credible piece.
Yeah.
You know, um, and I think that for us, that philosophy, that model is going to get us where we want to go.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'm a nubber. The cigar is down to my fingertips.
Yeah.
So, could we light another cigar? Keep talking. Sure, we can.
Yeah.
Probably not going to do that though.
Yeah.
But to everybody out there, always huge gratitude. Thank you for watching. Those of you that Zach and I reach out to and ask questions and have the conversations, thank you so much for your support and your mentorship. We will continue to grow this and grow the relationships. The Miami Cigar Festival was an amazing experience. And thank you to Orlando and his team for putting that on, and everybody that I got to have contact with. And we look forward to continuing to build those relationships and those friendships throughout this journey of ours. So you can find us again on social media at The Smoking Standard. Our YouTube channel is also titled the same, The Smoking Standard. I also have a personal page at The Smoking Standard Steve, and Zach has his personal page at The Smoking Standard Zach. So reach out to us. We're always welcome for the feedback, any recommendations, any mentorship that anybody would be willing to provide. We're super open to that. Good, bad, or indifferent. We've got thick enough skin, and we'd love to hear from the cigar community on what they think so far.
And also any recommendations, because we're focusing more on long format, but any recommendations for things we can do, topics we can cover. Not sure the event space is something we're diving heavy into this year, but we're going to start piecing that together for our itinerary to go forward. But like Steve said, big into like the history and the background of things. So outside of long form content is probably going to be little 5, 10, 15-minute videos of the backgrounds of each of these companies and their creators and the people that work there. And if we do get the chance to travel to these lounges, will probably be the time that we'll sit down and film and maybe interview the family or interview the staff or the people that hang out there. So if you have a local lounge that would be interested in hosting us and we can make it down there, then maybe we can come see your spot, as well as we're probably going to start filming in our local lounge. We just got to iron those details out, but I think we've got a pretty good plan and a projection for what we're going to do through the rest of this year.
Yep, absolutely. And one last thing as well. Everything that I brought back, all of the brand names are going to be, when I get the photos uploaded, all of those brands, I will list them in the Instagram post so you know who they are. You can go find them and try out their cigars. I have not had a bad cigar yet that I got from the Miami Cigar Festival. And all of that information is going to be included again, so you can go do the research and go out there and further to expand your palate and your knowledge of the boutique space, if that really resonates with you. All that, we're going to continue to post all of that. It will also be in the transcript for the YouTube. We'll have all it, same. So the material and everything I post on Instagram will be posted in the transcript on the YouTube as well. Thank you again for watching, and we look forward to talking with you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.